The women's para snowboard cross will get competition underway here on day 7 of the Sochi Winter Paralympics. An historic day for the International Paralympic Committee as they welcome the sport of snowboard cross to the Winter Games.
Give me your hand.
12 athletes competing in the women's category. And here is the start list, and the overwhelming favourite there, number 4, Vivian Mentel, created history earlier in the year when she won the first ever Para Snowboard World Cup title. There are actually 2 sport classes in Para Snowboard, lower limb and upper limb, but only snowboarders with lower limb impairments are competing here at the Winter Games. The men are also in action today, and there are 33 competitors taking part in the men's event, and their first run will come shortly after the women's. The overwhelming favourites in this one is Michael Shea of the United States, but Yevgeny Slepov there of Uzbekistan creating history as well. Uzbekistan taking part in the Winter Paralympics for the very first time.
It's so funny, they were live.
So the scene is set, history about to be made, and snowboard cross is coming to the Winter Paralympics. Expect plenty of thrills and spills. Confirmation of the course profile, 24 features in total from top to bottom.
Hello, snowboarding.
A lot of runs to come. Chris Vos there of the Netherlands, he'll be the first man to ski snowboard cross at the Winter Paralympic Games, who will come away with
and Canada.
that gold medal.
You got this. Yeah. Yeah. Stick with the plan.
Last few moments at the top as the athletes prepare. They're almost ready to go. That is a forerunner. It's not a athlete who's enjoying social media before dropping in. Competition due off at 9:30 local time. And the athletes sit and wait. The course set on the women's downhill course from the able-bodied Winter Olympics. And it comes into the finish area for the right-hand side as you look up the mountain. Again, 3 different courses all finishing in the same spot.
I love Sochi.
Everybody enjoying the build-up. Christina Alberts of the United States of America will get her piece in history as she becomes the first ever athlete to take part in snowboard cross of the Para Winter Olympic Games. Just the one category being raced at the Sochi Games. That's for skiers with lower limb impairments, such as amputations above the ankle, stiffness of ankle or knee joints, or muscle weakness. And athletes with amputations will use prosthetics during the races as well. The wand will go across the gate. And Christina Albert rides into the history books as the first ever athlete to take part in para snowboard cross at the Winter Paralympic Games. A round of applause and cheers out of the start hut. And now we get to have a look at the course that has been set by Jeremiah Wheeler of the United States and built by Davide Sirato. Starts at an altitude of 960 meters, or vertical drop of 140. Actually starts at 1100 meters, so he finishes at 960. 24 features in total, and this competition is an individual time trial. The snowboarders going one at a time, 3 runs in total, with the fastest 2 runs going towards their overall time. Big speed check there from Christina Albert, who only began competing back in 2012. And, the last feature before she sets the time of 1:10.55 and punches the air as she finishes the first ever run of para snowboard cross. Now Michelle Salt of Canada, an athlete who's also looking to compete at the Summer Paralympics. Now she's picking her way down through the features of this course, just getting a feel for it, perhaps just wanting to put down a time in the first run before just letting the board run. Runs 2 or 3. I think we'll see it. Most riders trying to put in 2 times and then letting it go on the 3rd. Final run, it's the Canadian Michelle Salt, who was encouraged to take up the sport by Canadian ice sledge hockey player Greg Westlake. Just making sure on these opening runs, and puts in a big speed check ahead of this final feature as she drops down over these rollers before the final jump. Compresses that roller and up and over the jump, and she finishes 1:34.43. Amy Purdy now of the United States lives in Copper Mountain. She trains 4 to 5 times a week, and her goal here is her goal is to win gold. She was second at the Power World Championships back in 2012. And she's third in the finished third in the Para Snowboard Cross World Cup. Had 3 second place finishes, one in Landgraaf in the Netherlands, and then one in Big White and one in La Molina. What can she do here on this first run of 3? It's Para Snowboard Cross, and she too, despite her experiences, just taking it in her stride this first run. Now she lets it run over the rollers before this final jump, which she negotiates well, and she sets the fastest time of the 3 down so far, 1:08.61. Vivian Mentel of the Netherlands won every single Para Snowboard Cross on the World Cup this year. 7 races, 7 wins. A former elite snowboarder for the able-bodied team. Began parasnowing 4 months after her right leg was amputated. She was a 2002 Olympic Winter Game hopeful before her amputation, and she wants to win gold here, and you wouldn't bet against her. given her recent form. She's certainly letting the board run more freely than the other three riders we've seen so far, but she too has to put in the speed check before this final set of features. It absorbs the rollers, no problems at all, and finishes in 1 minute 0.18 seconds. She's 8.43 seconds faster than Amy Purdy. Next rider out of the start hut is Cécile Hernandez-Sevillon of France, who's competed in international BMX competitions. Now, a couple of fourth place finishes on the World Cup in Copper Mountain and La Molina. Didn't race all of the events. Certainly some space for her to move into. At the top of the provisional leaderboard with 10 seconds covering the top three. And Hernandez Sevillon just puts in a speed check on the downhill side of the feature. Absorbs the rollers with her knees, up over the jump, and goes into second place, 3.42 off the pace of Mentel Spee. Now Lisa Bunschoten of the Netherlands, consistently in the top 5 on the World Cup tour this year. And just comes to grief on that berm. First tried snowboarding in 2010 and was eager to get back onto the board following her operation. Names on official speed stakes from Zoetermeer in the Netherlands. We will get a chance to lay down a quicker run. But, the first athlete under a little bit of pressure on the second run. The fastest two of the 3 runs count towards the overall time for the medal positions. Almost loses the heel side edge as she comes over the feature, absorbs the rollers over the final jump, and she goes 6th, 1:16.31, 16 seconds off the pace. Nicole Roundy now of the United States. On her profile it says that what sets her apart from others, both as a rider and competitor on the national team, is her right knee is entirely mechanical. She says, "I have a knee for snowboarding and I have a knee for everything else. I also have a spare knee, just in case." Well, there you go. They're doing a good job on these opening turns. Riding regular, right foot at the back. Roundy was the best finish, 3rd on the World Cup tour this season. The penultimate race before these games. There was all the speed before this final set of features. And I think once all the riders have had one go at this course, they will let the board flow more freely on runs 2 and 3, a little purse of the lips, but she's 6th for the time being. Megan Harmon of the United States lives in Salt Lake. The blue dye, just a guide. The riders can go outside that line. But they must make the alternate red and blue gates in order to stay in the run. Day job is working as a quality engineer on rocket motor construction. Now, can she let the board flow down these final few turns? Vivian Mentel of the Netherlands, the overwhelming favourite for the gold here, leads the way at the moment by 3.42 seconds. Whoa! Yeah, just got pitched forward off the double roller. And picks herself up. And she's killed too much speed here. And Harmon has to just crawl up the top of that feature before pitching down, coming in sight of the finish. Michelle Salt currently in 7th, 1:34.43, and Megan Harmon will slot in just behind her. So 1:40.07, she's seen the course once. She has 2 more chances to go quicker.
We don't have big numbers.
So we're going to look at Yoko Plevani, next to go. Wants to compete in para-canoeing in Rio. She's going to go without goggles here. Celebrated her 18th birthday recently. Para-canoeing will be her sport of choice in Rio, and then back to para snowboarding in Pyeongchang in 2018. A snowboarder before her illness, and keen to continue when she recovered. And she's here as part of the group that are making history in these Winter Paralympic Games. The course, as you can hear, pretty icy. A lot of fresh snow in the last 48 hours. And temperatures have dropped. And Plevani of Italy is just making sure this first run. The crowd see her and try to lift her with their cheers as she enters the final set of features inside of the finish. Sizing up this final feature, it's almost like a double roller tabletop jump, but she's over it and she stops the clock 1:54.06. So no Yoni Badenhorst of Australia, who is injured. So we move quickly on to Aston Paredes of Spain, who only began competing in para snowboarding last season, the 2012-13 season. 10th on the World Cup Tour. The best finish was 8th in La Molina just before these games. That was far and away her best performance. Let's see if she can take it up another level here in Sochi. And doing a fairly decent job on these top turns. Just a little speed check on the roll of the blue gate. And now comes down in sight of the finish. Looks like she's going to slot him to about 7th or 8th place. Slightly better than that into 6th. So now bib number 12 is Heidi Jo, who's second on the World Cup this year. 2 seconds, 2/3 into 6th. And just has to take the speed off there to stay upright. Now she lets it run through the bank turn. Another little speed check. The 23-year-old lives in Winter Park, Colorado. Good job on this first run, but she's not going to get in front of Mentel Spee, our leader. Finished in a time of 1:18. Now, where will Heidi Jo slot into proceedings over the final feature? Stops the clock at 1:17.4, goes 6th. Difference of 17.22 seconds off Vivian Mentel Spee. So here are the standings after run 1 of the women's para snowboard cross, and Vivian Mentel Spee, the favourite, leads the way from Cecile Hernandez-Seveillon by 3.42 seconds, and Amy Purdy of the United States is third, 8.4 off the pace of Mentel Spee. Joni Badenhorst of Australia didn't start due to injury.